In the heart of Ouagadougou, where cheers of hope turned into screams of terror, a single gunshot from a boy's trembling hands shattered the air. The bullet was aimed at Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young revolutionary leader of Burkinafaso. But what followed next didn't just shake a nation, it shook the world. The day was hot, the sun burning down on Ouagadougou. Crowds had gathered, chanting the name of their leader. Ibrahim Traoré, young, defiant, stood before them. His military uniform gleamed under the harsh daylight. Children waved flags of Burkina Faso. Mothers held babies high, hoping the president would notice. Security was tight, but not absolute. The leader had insisted, "I must remain close to the people." He walked without fear, shaking hands, smiling. Hope filled the air, heavy as incense. Then, amid the cheers, silence broke. A boy, no older than 15, stepped forward. His eyes were dark, filled with something unspoken. His hands trembled as he clutched a small pistol. The weapon looked too big for his fragile grip. For a moment he froze. The world seemed to hold its breath. The boy lifted his arm. A trigger was pulled. A gunshot split the sky. Chaos erupted instantly. Screams, cries, panic spread like fire. Soldiers lunged toward the boy. Others shielded the president. The bullet whizzed past Traoré's head. It missed him by inches. Dust kicked up from the road where it landed. The boy stood frozen, pale, shaking. His attempt had failed, but the moment had already changed everything. Ibrahim Traoré did not flinch. He raised his hand, signaling his guards to hold back. "Bring him to me," he ordered. The crowd gasped. Some shouted, "Kill him! He tried to murder you." Others were silent, stunned at the boy's audacity. Soldiers dragged the trembling youth forward. Tears rolled down the boy's cheeks. His lips quivered, unable to speak. Traoré looked him in the eyes. "Why, child?" the president asked softly. The boy clenched his fists. Then he screamed, "Because you betrayed us." Shock rippled through the crowd. The accusation hung heavy in the air. Journalists scribbled furiously. Cameras captured every second. The world would soon see this moment. The boy's voice cracked with fury. "They told me you sold our future to foreigners." Gasps filled the streets. People exchanged nervous glances. Who had poisoned this boy's mind? Traoré stepped closer. The guards bristled but obeyed his command. "Who told you this lie?" he pressed. The boy's eyes darted, filled with fear. He shook his head, refusing to answer. Traoré placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "You are too young to carry such hate." The crowd waited, holding its breath. Would Traoré show mercy or demand blood? A mother screamed, "He must die." Others shouted, "No, he is just a child." The nation itself seemed torn in that instant. Cameras zoomed in on Traoré's face. The world wanted his answer. His decision would echo far beyond Burkina Faso. He lifted the boy's chin gently. "You are not my enemy," he said, "but those who sent you, they are." The boy's tears fell harder. Soldiers lowered their weapons. The tension began to ease, but whispers spread like wildfire. Who had armed the child? Who had fed him lies? Who wanted Traoré dead? The crowd demanded answers. Traoré turned to his people. His voice thundered across the square. "See this boy. He is not evil. He is the proof of corruption's poison." Murmurs of agreement spread. Mothers nodded, clutching their sons. Fathers clenched fists in rage, not at the boy, but at unseen hands. "We will find those responsible," Traoré declared. His soldiers saluted. The people roared. The boy collapsed, sobbing. Traoré ordered him taken safely into custody. "No harm shall come to him," he warned. His mercy stunned the crowd. For the first time, some wept openly. "Our president is a father," one woman cried. But Traoré's eyes were hard with fury. He knew this was no random act. Foreign powers had long wanted him silenced. Now they had used a child. News spread instantly. Across Africa, headlines screamed, "Boy fires at Traoré, President unharmed." In Europe, analysts speculated. In America, officials stayed silent. In Moscow and Beijing, diplomats watched carefully. Burkina Faso was again at the center of global attention. The boy's identity remained a mystery. Rumors spread that he was trained. Others claimed he was brainwashed. Traoré held an emergency council meeting. "This is no coincidence," he told his ministers. "This is a warning." Security chiefs agreed. Evidence began to surface. A foreign intelligence trail, money transferred to hidden accounts, weapons smuggled through borders, propaganda spread on social media. All roads led outside Burkina Faso. Traoré slammed his fist on the table. "They want to break us with fear." His generals nodded grimly. "But they will fail," he vowed. Meanwhile, the boy sat in detention. Interrogators asked gently, "Who gave you the gun?" He whispered only fragments. "They promised my family would eat." The truth cut deep. Poverty had been weaponized. Traoré visited the boy in secret. The child trembled, expecting punishment. Instead, Traoré brought food, bread, rice, and a warm drink. "Eat," he said simply. The boy stared in disbelief. "Why are you helping me?" "Because you are my son too," Traoré replied. The boy broke down again. The president embraced him. Outside, the streets were restless. Demonstrations erupted. Citizens demanded justice. Banners read, "Stop foreign puppeteers." Anger burned hot against those meddling in Africa, but also sorrow for the boy. His story became a symbol, a reminder of how desperation is exploited. Traoré used the moment to rally unity. "We must protect our children," he declared. International leaders reacted uneasily. Some condemned the attack. Others remained suspiciously silent. African nations, however, rallied behind Traoré. "An attack on one is an attack on all," said a West African president. The AU called for investigation. Traoré's popularity soared. His mercy became legendary. But he knew more attempts would come. His enemies had revealed their hand. Days later, investigators uncovered shocking evidence. A foreign NGO had ties to arms smuggling. Documents pointed to Western sponsors. The plot was deeper than imagined. The boy had been just a pawn. His family had been starving. He had been promised money. A cruel trick played on innocence. Traoré revealed the truth to the nation. The people erupted with fury. Mass protests filled the streets. "Down with neo-colonialism," they roared. The boy's story spread across Africa. He was no longer seen as a criminal, but as proof of exploitation. Traoré's image hardened into legend, the leader who faced bullets and forgave, the man who turned assassination into resistance. International observers were stunned. Burkina Faso had found its fire. The boy was later released. Traoré personally oversaw his education. "You will build, not destroy," he told him. The child nodded through tears. The president's gesture was historic. Forgiveness became his weapon, mercy became his shield, and defiance became his sword. Burkina Faso rallied like never before. A new chapter had begun. The world now watched with unease, because the bullet meant to kill had instead birthed a revolution, and the boy who fired it became the symbol of a nation's rebirth. Ibrahim Traoré had turned tragedy into triumph. The story spread across continents, from Africa to Asia, from Europe to America. One message rang clear: you cannot kill a people's will to be free.